Hey everybody, Omega is here, and I would like to take this opportunity to go over how damage works in The World Ends With You, because they have kind of a strange damage algorithm that not many other games that I've ever seen in any other kind of game before. So I'm going to flash it up on the screen right now, the whole thing, and it's probably going to confuse you a little bit. You're probably not going to know what very much of it means, but I'm going to run you guys through it. So just to begin, just simply for the sake of simplicity, I'm only going to go over how damage is calculated for Neku, because that's pretty much the most important thing that you would ever have to know. Partner damage and noise damage is a slightly different algorithm. It's mostly just a slightly simpler algorithm, but they do exist obviously, but just for the sake of simplicity, this is the one you're going to need to know the most. So I'm just going to kind of go over it step by step. So to begin here, we have equipped attack, which is basically your straight attack. It's the number, the final number next to Nico into the stat screen. It's his base attack, basically, plus whatever clothes you're wearing, whatever stat wearing equipment you have on, which will get you a number. And then you take that number and you plus it by pin attack, which is basically the attack value of the pin that you're using. So whatever pin you're using to attack with, the attack stat on that times a resonance multiplier, which is another thing I haven't gone over. But basically, resonance is special pins that buff certain brands that you have to use in your deck. Most of the time, that value is only going to be 1. In most cases, if you're not using one, but if you are using one, you get a 0.20% increase. So that is a thing. You're mostly only going to see them for gimmick builds. So typically that value is not going to mean anything, but then it's times by the trend multiplier, which is whatever brand you're using, where it ranks on the brand chart. Again, that's actually probably going to vary, but typically, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to probably put ours at 1. But basically, and this is actually a game mechanic I haven't gotten to yet in the LP, but basically certain trends popular in certain areas, and if they do well, you can get stat increases for them. So if they're doing excellent, you can actually get a 2 times multiplier, and if they're not, you get a 0.5, which so it cuts it in half. So that is probably not a thing that you want to avoid. But anyway, so equipped attack gets plus to all of that, which is typically trend and resonance. Probably going to be 1 if most. Trend might be like 0.2 or 0.5, something like that. But typically, for the sake of simplicity, we'll keep it at 1 when we get to our example in a second. So it's that number times the SOS multiplier, which is again basically a special passive ability that makes it to where when you're low on HP, your stats get increased. You're only ever going to see these in gimmick builds, although it is a particularly effective one. You can get some very high damage output out of this. But almost always, if you're not running an SOS build, this value is going to be 1.0, so you don't really have to worry about it. And then that stat is times the efficiency multiplier, which is probably the most important thing that you can take out of this. Basically, every pin in the game has a secret stat. And the game doesn't show you, there's nowhere in the game that you can see what this stat is. But basically, each pin has what's called an efficiency value, which is a percentage that is times to the attack value that basically decreases the attack. So a pin can have anywhere from 20% to 400% efficiency that it gets multiplied by. And basically, this is a really big deal over how much damage your pins are going to do. Because if a pin, say, has a 20% efficiency, then everything, every attack that comes out of that pin is going to be times by 0.2, which is really going to reduce your damage a lot. And in that particular example, a lot of burst round pins tend to have low efficiency that low. And just because a pin has low efficiency doesn't make it useless. However, you're gonna get a lot more damage out of high efficiency. Basically, low efficiency pins are commonly very rapid or multi-hit, multiple use pins, and high efficiency pins are going to be high damage, one use, charge time, or some sort of special thing you're going to have to do to be able to use the attack to get that damage. But it's a very big deal, and I'll be referring to it multiple times in the LP, so you should probably at least know what it is. And there are guides you can look up on the internet that can tell you what all the pin efficiencies are. So But anyway, so you time the efficiency value times the difficulty multiplier, which is what difficulty you're playing on. If you're playing on normal, it's just 1.0, so no difference. If you're playing on easy, you get a times 2 multiplier to your damage. If you're playing on hard, you get 0.60 and a 0.40 on ultimate. But typically, you're playing on normal, you're only going to get a 1, so it doesn't really matter. And then that is times, or minus actually, the defense, which is basically the defense stat for whatever it is you're fighting. Noise typically have 0. Most noise don't really have defense, but some do. But yeah, as a general rule of thumb, you can assume 0. And then that is times a resistant multiplier when you're fighting noise, which is basically, and you can look this up in the game, but some noise are resistant to certain attack types. So if you hit a bad type, it's going to have the damage, or if you hit them in a certain place, it's going to have your damage, or if you hit them with a good one, you get a times 2 basically. And then that is times the puck multiplier, which is basically whatever value the light puck is on for that moment. It can be a little confusing, I understand, but I'm going to run through an example on screen right now. I'm going to run it through text because I haven't done it yet. So hopefully it can help you guys make a little sense. So I'm going to cut to that now, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Those memories are scratching my nerves, and I am hearing their voice in deepest reverb. I've got to get out of this brain before I'm tamed. Why can't you leave me alone for just one night? I try to make my secrets and I see the colored box. When after another, they're looking for the village rock. Building up, building, tearing down. A measles 9 years, making breakdown noise. Now open your eyes, the pieces are all over. Should accept this, it is over. Now keep your eyes on this corruption. Come on, yes, you should watch this transformation. Without a doubt, I kept on walking till today I saw this sprout between the black dirt and stood with all its strength. But you now open your eyes, the pieces are all over. Now you should accept this, it is over. Now open your eyes, put yourself together. You keep your eyes on this corruption. Your good is gone.